Well, hello. Again, this is Dr. David McAlpin, your professor for Introduction to Hermeneutics at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. I trust things are going well for you. We have just begun Unit 2, Week 2 in our 8-week study, and I want to talk with you just a bit, first of all, about assignments. You have some reading assignments. You have some chapters to read in Duvall and Hayes. You have some material to read in Klein, Blomberg, and Hubbard, your other text. And then there's a paper I've written entitled 8 Principles of Biblical Interpretation Reclaimed by the Protestant Reformation. I want you to read that paper. And then something I hope you'll have some fun with, you need to look at what we have there in Blackboard called Bad Hermeneutics. 8 examples of horrible hermeneutics. You'll get a kick out of some of these. Some of them are tragically inaccurate. But you'll want to read those. Some of them are video links. And then I want you to identify in each one of those, identify which of those 8 principles I identified in the paper. Which one of those 8 principles are they violating in how they handle, how they interpret Scripture? Now what you're going to find is almost every one of them violates more than one of those 8 principles. But identify at least one. And then go into the discussion board and post what you've written there. The last thing is that you're going to start your exegetical paper. Last week you wrote a page or so on what this passage means to me. What do you think it means on either an Isaiah passage, Malachi, 1 Timothy, or Revelation? Well, what you're going to do from now to the end of the term is to write, compose an exegetical paper that goes in depth and follows a 5-step process for taking an interpretive journey. You're going to do step 1 this week, actually start step 1, which is entitled Grasping the Text in Their Town. And so you're going to do 4 of the 5 subsections. You're going to break step 1 down into subsections. The final subsection is going to be a verse-by-verse commentary, just like you would read in a commentary itself. You're going to do that type of a verse-by-verse commentary, but that'll be next week, all right? So just do the first 4 of the 5 subsections. Now, if you look at the instructions that we provided in Blackboard that are there for you, you're going to notice that there are 3 basic sets of instructions for your assignment this week, your writing assignment. First of all, I've included a section entitled What to Include in each of those 4 subsections. I've broken it down according to which of the passages you've chosen. So find the part of that that applies to you and look at what I've indicated you need to include in each one of those 4 subsections you're writing this week. Secondly, there's some information in the instructions on expanding your passage. When you wrote the paper last week, you were dealing with only 2, 3, maybe 4, I think 3 at the most, verses. And here's a rule of hermeneutics you need to know. The smaller the passage is that you're trying to interpret, the greater the possibility is for misinterpreting it. So what do? Well, you expand the passage. You look at what comes before it and what comes after it, and by doing that, you greatly lessen the chance of misinterpretation. So depending on what your passage is, you're going to expand the number of verses you're going to be looking at and doing your verse-by-verse commentary on. So check on the section entitled Expanding Your Passage and see, according to the passage you chose, what's your new expanded passage going to be. So that's the second set of instructions or guidelines. Thirdly, I list there in the instructions 4 expectations of your professor with this paper. And I may throw a 5th one in here at the end. Here they are. Number 1, use the template. I've provided you in the instructions a link to the Step 1 template. It is in Microsoft Word, and it's set up so that you can just type in the information that you glean, what you compose, and obviously delete the text that I've given you there, but use the template. Number 2, you're going to divide step 1 into subsections. And again, you'll do 4 of the 5 this week, and I've given you those subsection headings there in the template. Thirdly, I want you to consult at least 3 commentaries for your passage, but commentaries that are up to date, they're scholarly, and they're in depth. I love Barnes' notes. I love Spurgeon. I love Calvin's commentaries, and I consult those, but I want you to find at least 3 commentaries that deal in depth with your passage. Now, if you find a journal article, that's fine, as long as it deals in depth with your passage. And then finally, my last expectation is use footnotes. Don't use in-text citations, use footnotes. And you can check the Turabian Writer's Guide, we give you a link to that, on how to do those footnotes. Now here's my last one that I'm going to throw in. The last expectation I have is that you will use proper grammar and punctuation in this paper. Some students really struggle with that, others do extremely well. If you're one of the former, if you struggle with punctuation and with grammar, here's what you need to do. Get a friend who knows English grammar and punctuation really, really well, and get him or her to read your paper before you turn it in. Take them out for a cup of coffee, ask them out on a date, whatever you want to do. If you're not married, I tell my classes, marry somebody that knows English grammar, and it'll help your ministry in your life. But seriously, do check your paper for grammar and punctuation errors, and make sure it's written in a good, clear form. Well, hey, I'm excited about this week. If you have any questions, email me. Let me know if I can help you in any way. God bless you.